Cool. Okay. Let us continue the leadership series. Now, on the last lesson, we went through lesson 1, which is that leadership starts with a promise. And you guys remember the promise, right? The promise is that you tell a person, whether outright or through the implied contract between you two, that should that person follow you. So I tell you, like, should you follow me and do the things that I'm asking you to do, you will get the outcomes that you were promised you would get. You following? Pretty simple. It's like with a client, same pitch that you make in sales, really. If you give me the money that I'm asking you to give me, then you will get the product on which we agreed you would get. That's the agreement, right? And obviously, when you're meeting with a client, how you engage and conduct yourself and how you are as a person and everything that goes with that, they make a determination if you're believable. The client makes a determination like, yes, I know this person says that if I give them X amount of money, in our case, selling luxury products, it's a lot of money. If I give this person a lot of money, they will fulfill their obligation and deliver a product of the highest quality, on time, etc. Right? That's the basic agreement. And they judge that agreement not really on what you say. If you guys have noticed that, they don't really judge it on what you say. Like, you can't really say too much of the right thing, but you can say the wrong thing very quickly. But everybody's going to say, yes, I'm going to keep my promise. Yes, I'm going to do right by you. Everybody's going to make that promise. So leadership is the same, right? The client is looking to see if you're believable. And that's really the second pillar of the 10 rules or the 10 pillars of leadership, is that a promise cannot be believed if the deliverer is not believable. So that's a very, I'm going to repeat that. It's a very important statement. A promise cannot be believed if the deliverer is not believable. And I think when I say that, we can all flash back to times where we've hired people with the potential promise of fulfilling their future goals. And then we as leaders have messed up. We've given a sign of maybe we're not a person that can be believed to lead that person to where they want to go. Does that make sense? We've done something not intentionally. We didn't intentionally screw it up, but we've done something that, without knowing or understanding it at the time, undermined the trust of the person whom we brought on board. And that's a painful lesson. So imagine you were just hired into a new direct sales position with the promise of gaining financial wealth, career opportunity, and the respect of peers, colleagues, clients, and the greater community at large. You show up with great enthusiasm on your first day. You have a smile on your face. Your energy is high, and you're ready to shout from the rooftops about the great life that you're going to have. You get some training, and off you go to the phones to book some sales appointments. Sound familiar? Yep. The first call you make hangs up on you. Sound familiar? Rookies? Yep. Then the second call you make hangs up on you. Then the third call you make hangs up on you. You're now 5 hours into calling, and you've just been hung up on for 5 hours. You go to your leader, and you tell your leader, hey, everyone's hanging up on me. And the leader tells you that you just need to dial more, and so you do that. 1 day passes. Then 2 days pass. Then 3 days pass. Then an entire week passes. Then an entire month passes. And you still can't get an appointment. Your leader tells you to dial more. So you dial more, and another month passes, and you get no results. Now, you were promised wealth, success, and respect, and all you've gotten now are several months of empty rejection. No wealth, no success, certainly no respect. And then another month passes. And you begin to wonder, is this promise a scam? So you start to observe your leader. You start to look at the leader. Your leader promised you that you'll be successful and wealthy and respected if you follow their promise. But you notice that your leader doesn't appear to be very successful themselves. They're certainly not wealthy. When top salespeople awards are handed out, your leader doesn't seem to be receiving them. Maybe you even had a couple sales and you outsold your leader. I see the problem that's going to create. I talked about this with some of you. You always want to maximize for the potential and the results of your rookies, right? You always want to maximize for their results, because the more maximized the results are, the more they believe the promise, they'll be more successful. Like, they see success in themselves and they believe they'll be successful, right? You never want to hold them down. You always want to maximize the results, obviously. But then they outsell you and immediately they leave the organization. And you guys understand why. It's because you're promising them all this wealth, and in their early months or in their first year, they're already doing better than you. Is that a problem? Now, it's good that they're selling more, but it's not good that they're selling more than you, and you never want to keep them down. What they're showing is they're more competent than you, and you're supposed to lead them to where they're supposed to go. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I obviously perceive that somebody's less competent than me, I don't want to follow that person. Do you guys want to follow a person who's less competent than you? Do you want to take advice and feedback from somebody less competent than you? Do you want to have your life planned out for you by somebody less competent than you? So it's not about keeping other people down. It's about improving and growing yourself so that you're competent enough to attract and retain competent people. You have to be competent, and you can't say that you're competent. You can't say you were competent. You have to be competent. This is not a surprising or shocking analogy, is it? This makes perfect sense, because you're making somebody a promise to lead them to where they want to go. Well, you clearly notice that the person delivering the promise lacks the credibility to make the promise itself. After all, if they believe that, why aren't they experiencing it for themselves? However, there's one other aspect here. There are top sales awards, and someone is getting them, and therefore someone is being wealthy, someone is being successful, someone is being respected. Your leader made you the promise that you'll have these things if you do what they say. However, they themselves don't have those things. So, how do you actually become successful in the role if the person telling you what to do isn't successful? This raises up another question. How do people actually become successful then? Well, a question I would ask is, you look around the organization and you ask so you're new in the company, your leader's not successful, the trust has been broken, but you look around the company and you look around the top leadership layer, you look at the C-levels and you say, are they trustworthy? Maybe your leader is not deceiving you. Maybe your leader is just naive and stupid. Maybe your leader just got tricked themselves. Maybe your leader is being tricked and they're stupid and naive and incompetent, so they're tricking you. But they don't do it intentionally. They're just stupid and naive, and they tell you what they believe and expect you to believe what they believe. Either way, the point here is this. Either way, whether you're following somebody that's naive or stupid, or you're following somebody that's just clearly lying to you or incompetent, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because your promise will not come true because you cannot trust the promiser. Does that make sense? There is no scenario as a leader where you cannot be believable and you win. I'll say that again. There's no scenario as a leader where you can win being not believable. Does that make sense? There's no scenario you can win. Now, some folks, what they'll try to do if they're incompetent and incapable of doing something, like, for example, let's imagine you're selling high-end custom suits, which is what we do in our company, and you suck at measuring. It's not that hard to measure, but you just happen to suck at it because you're unprofessional. You deliver a poorly tailored garment, and you don't want to look incompetent in front of your rookie, so you blame the company. They made it wrong. And you still can't win, because now what you're communicating is, hey, I'm willing to follow somebody that can't deliver the product that was promised to me, hence I'm stupid, but you can trust me in my promises. Do you understand how there's no victory in being incompetent as a leader? There's no victory in not delivering results as a leader. There's no victory in it. Imagine we have a personal commitment. We book 7 selling opportunities each day. That's what we promote. And you as a leader are booking 2 sales opportunities each day. So obviously, your rookie can't believe that 7's the path to success if you're not doing it. So you can't win. So you're either following someone who's outright lying to you or someone who's brainwashed into stupidity. I don't expect anyone listening to this to be naive or stupid. So therefore, if this happened to me and I'm in your position, I'm simply abandoning the company, because I'd have every reason to believe I'm being sold a bill of goods I can't trust. Now, the reason you guys are on this call, that you're listening to this call and you're leaders in this company, is because you trust that the promise that was made to you, and for many of you on this call, you're 7-8 years into the business, you still trust today that the promise of that you're going to get what you came here to get will be fulfilled. True? That's the gift that you have to give to the people who follow you. Now let's flip the scenario around. Imagine that instead of being the person that's new to the company, you're the leader of that person. And that's how they see you. You made a promise that this person can reach their goals. And if their goals are financial wealth and success, then, and you're not the representation of their goals, they see you as being naive or stupid. And that hurts. That hurts you. Like anybody, and this took me years to understand, and this was very painful for me to understand, right? What happens is somebody quits on you, it's because they don't trust you. Period. Is that true? It's like if a client doesn't buy, why doesn't a client give you the money? Because they don't trust you. They think you're going to steal the money. Or you're so stupid that you can't deliver a good product even though you believe you can. Incompetence, right? Every single time you don't get the client's money, it's because they don't trust you. True? That's literally what's happening. They don't trust you. Every time a person leaves you as a leader, they don't trust you. And here's what happens. Do clients say to your face, Eustace, Chanda, yours, Jason, and you don't have to answer, but because you know the answer. Do clients ever look you in the eye and they say, hey, Chanda, I really want what you're selling, but I don't trust you. You come off as incompetent to me. I don't trust you. Did they ever say that to your face? No. No. What clients always do and prospects do is they lie to make you feel better. Oh, I really want this, but I need to talk to my wife. Translation, I don't trust you. Oh, I really want this, but I have to check what I have already so it doesn't compete with what I have in my current collection. They don't trust you. I really want this, but the price, maybe I got to think about it. They don't trust you. So they always lie to you to make you feel better in order to get rid of you easier. Okay? Follow. This is very important. This is where leaders get caught in the same trap. They stop following you, but they're still your friend. You're a clown. You are a clown. Jason's laughing because he knows that, and I know that because it took me years to realize it. You know, I got people that I recruited to work at the company, and they left because why did they leave? It's like, well, of course they left because they don't trust the promise will be fulfilled. Because it's not like they are unemployed now. They go to a different company with the promise that they want it to be fulfilled. And yet they're still cool to me and we're still friends and they tell me what a great leader I am. Woo! You know, to translate that into terms that are easier to understand, a client doesn't buy from you, but they call you once a month to say, hey, Joris, you're such a great salesperson. I just want to tell you that. You're such a great salesperson. Hey, thanks, guy. And then you go to your leader and the leader's like, hey, why did this person leave the company? Oh, it wasn't me. I'm a great leader. It's just that, you know, they had to think about it. It was a money thing. They had to talk to their wife. Like whatever dumb excuse they give you as a leader, you believe it. But there's only one thing that doesn't lie. It's the results that don't lie. It's the only thing that tells the truth. And it took me about 4 or 5 years in recruiting and building an organization to truly understand that, because a mentor of mine told me that. He basically sat me down. He said, hey, man, you're a clown. Why? He said, have you ever left the sales meeting and the prospect's like, you're such a great salesperson, and they didn't buy? I'm like, yeah. He goes, how do you view that? I'm like, well, that's super insulting. Like, they think I'm so stupid that they'll cheer me up. You're a great salesperson, though. Now, the first time I heard that, I'm like, yeah, I'm a great salesperson. And then when I heard it like 10 or 20 times, I'm like, oh my God, every time they say they don't buy, they think I'm a clown. So isn't it amazing? Like, we have rookies that leave and they like, you're such a great leader. You're so good. And you're like, yeah, it's a compliment. It's not a compliment. When a girl says to you, I wish every guy was like you, that's not a compliment. Like, getting friend zoned by clients, women, and people you try to lead is not a compliment. Results matter, right? And that's a wake-up call. Took me years to learn that, right? And it hurts. But it also makes sense because we touched earlier that the higher their goals are, the harder it is to keep them and have them hit their goals. And this is why. You have to be the living representation of the goals you promised to your team. The goals that you promised they will achieve if they trust the process that you also trusted. They have to look at you and see themselves in you. The higher their goals are, the harder it is for you to have already achieved them or to be visibly achieving them. So that's true. And the more successful you become, the better you should be able to obtain, retain, attract, retain, better people. I've observed in our business, and I've been told by many other top executives in different businesses, that as soon as a rookie outsells their leader, a rookie quits. I couldn't believe it the first time it happened. I've now seen it. In fact, recently a rookie outsold their leader, and I came to that leader and I said, I'm just letting you know, I think this person will quit. The leader was shocked I would make such a bold and offensive claim. 4 days later, the rookie quit. This absolutely doesn't mean that the leaders should hold down the rookies' results in order to keep them. That's toxic and it'll chase all the people away. And it doesn't make you a great leader to undermine anyone's results. That's never the case. We never do that. And we've defined that an important part of leadership is influencing somebody to join, to stay, and to successfully accomplish the desired goal while working alongside them and walking alongside them. What this does mean is the leader has a personal responsibility to grow their own personal success and to continue to exude the qualities of personal success, the habits, the discipline of personal success, in order to show observable results right now that reflect the rookie's own goals, in order to be able to keep that great rookie. And you guys have had this, right? We've all had this where we hire a great person, but it's during a downtime for us. And if we had hired that person any other time in our career that wasn't a downtime, that person would stay. We've all had that. But you have to be a representation to them. So it also means the leaders must recognize when their leader is not up to the task they've been assigned and pull that leader out of leadership immediately. So this is a really good example. Like sometimes we'll have a leader that's not executing at a high level, but they keep asking for people. Like, give me more people to lead. Give me more people to lead, right? But at some point, it's like, if you give your clients, your best clients, to a terrible rookie, and the client will just get very angry, right? Or if the wrong person from the company calls the client and the client gets very angry because their salesmanship skills, their social intelligence isn't up to par to keep that client. We've all had that happen. Well, it's the same in leadership. If we continually see that a person is being given people to lead and the results fail, it's the leader is not up to the task. And we can fail for a while as long as that leader is willing and wanting to learn to grow their leadership. But here's the thing. Here's where we become delusional. All of us, Eustace, yours, Chenda, on this call, we all become delusional like this. We start making, oh, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me why they're not sticking. It's the company. I had this conversation with a leader recently. They're like, I can't lead here, but maybe I can lead somewhere else. And I said, well, what are we doing in our company? Is it the fact that, we're a tailoring company that makes clothing for Jordan Peterson and Alice Cooper and Lennox Lewis and Eddie Hall and all these famous people? Is that what's in your way? The credibility of working with the highest level of fame? Is it the fact that we're one in 250 companies that cross the 10 million in annual revenue threshold? There's only 1 out of 250 companies ever get there. 0.04%. Is it the fact that we've got over a decade of successful expansion? Is that undermining your credibility with new people? And today I could say, is it the fact that we received over 10 million views on YouTube in the last 90 days? So we have tremendous social proof. Is it the fact that there's all these millionaires around you who have gotten to their goals, and you can show rookies that there's all these millionaires around you who have gotten to their goals? Is that what's holding you back from leading here? Are we somehow, if we remove all that, are you going to be a better leader? Should we just start from day one and say there's no company, no website, but now you can lead because all this social proof of everything you say to be true is no longer there? Is that going to make you a better leader? Person went, I guess not. And this is that cognitive dissonance, right? We always want to blame somebody else for our failures. And it's easy to recognize it in others. It's hard to recognize it in ourselves. That's what cognitive dissonance is. Right? If you guys are experienced salespeople, you know that when you look at a salesperson and they're terrible, you're like, that person's terrible. And then they come to you with a clown problem, right? I think we need more yellow shirt fabrics because, I have a client look at like 50 yellow shirt fabrics, but he couldn't find the shade of yellow that he wanted, which is a real thing I heard. And I'm not going to negotiate with that because I know it's retarded. That's the word, it's retarded. And so when a leader comes to me with all of these, leadership things, it's like, no, you're not allowed to give feedback because you can't give feedback if you're incompetent. Because would you listen to a rookie on their first day telling you how to improve the phone approach? You'd be like, why are you telling me how to improve the phone approach? You've never booked an appointment. You are terrible at this. Recognize that you are. And so sometimes people come to me with leadership opinions. It's like, hey, I love to grow. Fuck, I just straight up, like I just told Jason yesterday, I paid $18,000 USD for 6 months of once a month, 90-minute call. So I paid $18,000 USD for 4 phone calls with Cam Harold, who wrote Double Double, one of my favorite business books. He's a leadership coach. I paid $18,000 for 6 calls with this guy. You know why? Because I want to grow as a leader and he's a bigger leader than me. Now pay attention. If you've never led anything or built something, like in terms of growing people and organizations, I'm not going to pay you money. I'm not even going to take your advice for free. Is that fair? You guys don't want free advice from somebody who's never sold anything. But to get high level of competence, I'm paying this guy 18 grand for 6 phone calls. So that's $3,000 per phone call, USD, to be able to learn from a top leader. So competence matters. But you know what? It's worth every penny. It's worth every penny. It's worth every penny because it's very, very difficult to be around competent people that are more competent than you once you get to a certain level. That's a fact. There are very few people. Chenda's on this call. You're good at selling clothing in our business. There are very few people, Chenda, that you can ask for advice on how to sell better. There are some that you can learn a couple of things from. But if somebody's selling $6 million a month, you probably would pay money to learn from them. Because it wouldn't take you more time, right? It wouldn't take you more time to get more results anymore. It's not about time. It's about leverage of time. That's leadership. It's the same principle, right? So it would be foolish of the leader's leader to assign rookies to leaders who can't lead them because the rookies won't stay. That would undermine the entire company's future. This is why you cannot promote people on politics. That's why titles don't matter. It doesn't work. Leadership is not a promotion. It's a representation of your character, summarily defined by your results. That's what leadership is. Leadership is being the image of the promise you make, and therefore a leader's leader can only advance those who are advancing themselves, who are the image of their own promise, because that's how they attract, retain, and grow great people. A lot of people want the title. Everybody wants the money. I want some free money. Everybody likes the idea of being respected, but they're not willing to sacrifice to submit to the responsibilities, or they're simply not smart or competent enough to achieve the results they have to deliver in order for their promise to be believable. So if you're not fulfilling that promise to other people, you're basically either stubborn, like you're acting, I've been a donkey before, where you're just stubborn, you want to be right, even though you're not showing results, and you have to let results be the ultimate judge. Or you just lack the leadership ceiling to be competent at even the fundamental level. Now, as I'm reading this out right now, I'm also talking to people in our own company that are on this call. That does not apply to people on our own call. I know you guys are all very, very, very much competent and have the leadership ceiling to do way more than like grow one person. Many people in this company already have. I know you have the leadership ceiling to do it. So it's a matter of willingness. It's a matter of sacrifice. And by sacrifice, I don't mean physical labor. I don't even mean a crazy time commitment. It's actually way easier to lead somebody when you're successful. Like if people are following you and you're selling 3, 4, 5 guys a day, it's quite easy for them to believe you and believe your image, right? It's way easier to lead when you're selling over 100K a month than it is when you're selling 20. It's way easier for you guys now. It takes way less time because people can follow you, watch, and observe. You don't have to sit down and explain what happens in meetings. They can see for themselves, right? So it's way easier. What I mean by when I say like, are you willing to do it? It's more so like, are you just willing to learn and to do something you're not going to be very good at the first couple times you do it? And it's very hard as you become really successful in like one narrow area of your work to take on and expand yourself in leadership, because then you're going from an area you're extremely competent at to an area you're not very competent at, and that can hurt your ego, can't it? So a lot of times when people call me for getting something for free, it's their ego talking. Well, I've been here for a while, so I think I deserve some free things. It's like, and I always say, you're asking the wrong person. You're asking the wrong person. Leadership is being the image of the promise you make. So a leader can only advance those who are the image of what their promise is. There's never a shortage of people who want to be leaders. Here's the shocking part, though. There's never a shortage of leaders wanting to promote leaders. Like, I want to promote leaders every day. If I could wave a magic wand and make all of you division presidents, I would do that in a second. You understand the benefit, right? Magic wand, you're all division presidents. Oh my God, we all win. That's amazing. So there's never a shortage of leaders that want to promote other leaders. There's just always a shortage of leaders worth promoting. And to make it sound even simpler, Are you guys, would you guys be like happy if you had a magic wand that could promote your rookies to 100K producers? If you can wave a magic wand, they become 100K producers, that'd be amazing, right? But you can't promote somebody to being 100K. What are you going to say? You're now a 100K producer. Put that on your business card. It doesn't change anything. So it's like, I want to promote more leaders, but it's about you, the leaders. And that's about me, and it's about all of us. Like I have to promote myself as a leader. How? I can give myself a new title. It's useless. It's about growth. I've had many people over the years blame a lot of factors for not being in the leadership position they want to be. And there's always been just one stinking explanation. They've either not exemplified the promise themselves, or if they did exemplify the promise themselves, but they still weren't able to grow a team, it's because they failed in the third pillar. And the third pillar is the third lesson for the next call.